run a lot of resilience workshops over the years, started developing these at Sussex University and have rolled them out in many different places. One of the reasons is I think resilience for leaders and managers is absolutely essential. So one of the theories or practical ways of thinking about resilience comes from Professor Patrick Pietroni. Now, he came up with this idea of you being a boat on the river, and I think I like this because I can really relate to it from a journey I had, which was in Laos. Now, Laos had this river running from the capital up to the mountains, and I was sold this idea of going on a boat trip to the mountains. It would take a couple of hours and be beautiful. So we got on the boat, which was long and narrow, had hard seats, and I thought, well, I can probably take a couple of hours on this. This will be nice. And as we set off, there's about 8 of us in the boat, and we were like going along nicely until the moment when the guy driving the boat decided to pull over to the riverbank and let 4 of his friends on. He was obviously giving them a lift somewhere. Well, that took a little bit of time, and by the time we got going, we were overloaded and we were going slower and slower as the water was dropping in the river. And every time we got to some rocks, we had to actually get out of the boat. So eventually we would have to help the guy lift this boat over the rocks. And we were losing more and more time till in the end, this 2-hour journey took 6 hours, and I was well and truly over it by the end of it. I like this theory because it really rings true. If you think of yourself as being a boat on the river, there's always going to be rocks coming up, because there is in everyone's life. I've coached people in many jobs and they all have rocks at one point or another. And the idea is to make sure you're not overloading the boat, but also to make sure that the waterline is high. So how can you keep your waterline high? Well, there's 3 things that fundamentally make a difference. And the research shows that if you look after these, you will be able to get over the rocks better. Number 1, diet. If you're not getting a good balanced diet, eating regularly, your blood sugar levels will be low, your energy levels will be lower, and you will not be able to perform as a leader as well as if you look after them. So in my world, skipping breakfast, skipping lunch on a regular basis is absolutely doing you no favours. Can you keep your blood sugar levels high? Because I know I get hangry, you ever get that, if I don't eat? And I'm just reacting to things in a way which I wouldn't do if I wasn't hungry. Well, that's happening at micro levels if you're not keeping your hydration and your diet at the appropriate level. Number 2, exercise. This absolutely builds your resilience levels. It doesn't have to be masses. It can be as simple as walking up the stairs instead of taking a lift, or it could be taking 10 minutes to walk around the block at lunchtime. Number 3, this is really important, is rest. How are you making sure that throughout the day you get a rest, maybe at lunchtime, you get a bit of downtime, and particularly in the evenings or on holidays or at weekends, you're taking a proper break? Because although it's tempting to keep going and keep working, it doesn't actually make you productive. After 50 hours, your productivity is falling off a cliff. And for every hour you're working over 50 hours in a week, you're really making no headway, a bit like me in the boat. So you might want to think, what is it for you that keeps the waterline high? So I've outlined 3 things which we know make a difference, but what for you fundamentally keeps you more resilient and keeps your well-being at a point where you're being able to lead effectively? So if you want to know more, please do look at our website or subscribe to the videos we've got coming out. And if you want to leave a comment, I'll be really interested to know what you think. And if you want to get in touch, please use the contact buttons to email us, and I'll happily have a chat with you.